Hey everyone, in this video let's see how we can show or hide an image or a shape in Excel by simply just a click of a button. So as you can see on the screen, I have a button as well as I have a shape, and if I click on this button once, it hides that shape, and if I click once again, you can see that it brings back the shape. So ideally what people do is they use two buttons to either show or hide, but in this video let's see how we can do all that operation with just a simple single button. And let's get started. So for that, first of all, we need to create a new sheet, and I'm going to add a new shape. So let's create an oval. I can press shift so that the shape is perfect, and let's also remove the grid line so that it is more beautiful. And what we can do is simply change the color so that it looks much better. And the next thing that we want to do is simply go to the developer tab and click on insert, and make sure that you add the ActiveX control, not the form control button. So let's click on the button and add a button, then simply click on it and click on the properties option so that we can change the name and the caption of that button. So I'm going to name it as show and hide shape, and in the name I can write show or hide. And with that being done, let's close the properties option and let's click outside of the design mode. And if I click here, right now it doesn't do anything, but we can see that it is actually getting clicked by the change in the appearance. And to write the code behind this button, what we can do is simply click on the design mode and just simply double click on it, and it will bring us to the sheet module. And the first thing that we need to do is simply declare a variable. So I'm going to name it as dim cell as range. So I'm going to show you what that variable is going to do in a moment. And what we need to do is simply set that range or the cell variable equal to any range that you want. And I'm going to choose H1. So let's say set cell is equal to sheet 5, or you can say me dot range H1. And the idea behind the use of the cell variable is that we will use a value in that cell to determine by either we want to show or hide the image, and those values would be 1 or 0. So let's go back to Visual Basic, and the next thing that we need to do is simply check if cell dot value is equal to 1, then I want to do some operation. And let's close end if, and then also before that, what I need to do is simply name this shape so that I can reference it inside my VBA code. So I can name it as circle, and let's go back to VBA editor, and I'm going to say me dot shapes circle dot visible is equal to MSO true. So if the value of that H1 is 1, then I want to show the shape, otherwise I will hide that shape. So I can write else if cell dot value is equal to 0, then it should simply hide that shape. So I can copy this code and paste it here. Let's indent it a little bit, and instead of true, I will choose the option of MSO false. So if it is 0, we want to hide that image, but the issue is that we also want to change the value of that cell. So let's say if the value of that H1 is 1, and if I click on that button, what I want to do is simply change it to 0, so that next time I click it on this button, based on that value, the VBA code will check either it wants to hide or show that value. And if it is 0, it will hide that value. But if I'm not going to write that logic, then that button will not be able to do both operations. So let's go back, and what we need to do is here I'm going to write cell dot value should be equal to 0. Once it finds that the current value is 1, it should make the shape visible, and after that it should change the value of that cell to be 0. And in case if it is already 0, it should hide the image and then change the value of that cell to be 1. And what we can do is simply go back to Excel so that we can check if the code is working. So let's click on Excel option. So you can see that in H1 we see 0, and if I click on it, it hides because the value was 0, and it has changed the value of h1 to 1, and now that value of h1 is actually 1, it should show that shape. So if I click on once again, I get my shape back, and if I click once again, it hides, shows, hides, shows. So that was how you can use VBA and a simple logic like that to either show or hide the image or any shape by simple click of one single button, and otherwise you would have to implement that logic by using two different buttons. So that was all for this video, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, have a great day.